You might not know its name, but you're probably familiar with the pixels it pushes to the screen. It made the calculations necessary to make you die from dysentery. It shifted bits so Mario could punch those question mark boxes and zip down green pipes. It is the brain of beloved bending robots and Terminators the world over. And it allows Tamagotchis to poop. I'm talking, of course, about the MOS-designed 6502 microprocessor. These days, it's easy to act all nonchalant about the processing power available to the average human being. Need to make an international call, record some 4K video, post cat memes in real time on Twitter while binging Breaking Bad in HD.
You're goddamn right.
Even bottom shelf phones these days can pull all those feats off and more without breaking a sweat. But this 40-pin chip is from a far, far simpler time. An era when earth tones were in, cars were slow and ugly, and corduroy was the only fabric available. You see, it was the early 1970s, and a bunch of ex-Motorola engineers at MOS Technology were appalled by the state of the industry. Microprocessors were expensive. I mean, how are you going to spark a personal computing revolution if the average Joe or Jane can't even afford one measly chip? But with the 6502, MOS's clever engineers were able to drive the price down. At the time, a similar chip from Motorola cost around $300. MOS were able to get their chip down closer to $20. To put that into perspective, imagine if a bunch of ex-Apple engineers offered a top-of-the-line iPhone XS Plus competitor for $90 instead of $1,500. Obviously, this price gouging and corporate intrigue caused some drama between the two companies. There was a legal scuffle and MOS had to pull one of their processors off the market. But when the dust settled, the company was still intact and they had a killer, affordable microprocessor in the 6502. The chip went on to be used in some of the most influential personal computers of the 70s and 80s. Steve Wozniak put the 6502 at the heart of the Apple II home computer, the system that would spark a personal computer revolution. A derivative of the 6502, the 6510, was the brainchild behind the Commodore 64, which is considered one of the best-selling personal computers of all time.
Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.
Yet another 6502-based processor was used to power the first ever Nintendo Entertainment System, the device that would single-handedly revive home video game systems, and would serve as the touchstone for today's nerd-positive culture. I don't think it's an overstatement to say that this little package of silicone and plastic is one of the most influential pieces of technology in the world. It's a testament to the 6502's utility that variants of it are still in production to this day. They're used in embedded devices like sound controllers, and also more specialized applications like modern Tamagotchis. There's also a cadre of dedicated programmers and tinkerers who are still writing new code that runs on 6502 devices like the Commodore 64. Their demos push the hardware to its very limits, combining brilliant mathematical trickery with chip-specific hacks to achieve hypnotic effects. The humble 6502 shaped the entire technology industry as we know it today because it took computing out of gigantic mainframes and put it in the hands of people like you and me. By democratizing access to technology, it helped bring about the digital, interconnected age that we take for granted today. Thanks for watching. Did you have a C64 or NES growing up? Do you have an idea of what we should discuss in our next episode? Let us know in the comments. Leave us a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you want to see more from us. So over the summer, I taught myself some rudimentary form of 6502 assembly language, which seems really scary, but it's not. You can get this book from Derek Morris. The link will be in the description of the video, and it is a pretty clean way to learn it if you ever wanted to mess around with the 6502 over here, the Commodore 64. It was very fun. It was very intimidating at first, but it's a good read, and you'll learn more about programming overall if you read it. So thank you for watching.